This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel Scum.
Rebel Scum. Episode 336. I'm Brock. This is
James.
This is the Rebel Scum podcast. Look at this. What a refreshing view we have. Not some terrible virtual background. It's like, look, I live somewhere. I have things.
It's still not. It's not great. I'm working on a set. I've been saying that for 6 years, but I am working on it. I swear we'll have one. I should move this maybe back. I got Indiana Jones, Jar Jar, Mando, X-Men Legends for some reason on PlayStation 2. Yeah, I was like, we need to promote PlayStation 2.
Absolutely.
And then Ninja Turtles the arcade game vinyl soundtrack because that's what.
Oh yeah.
These were just things I had in this room, so I threw them up. They're fun. Yes, that's up. Star Wars is dead.
Oh yeah, totally.
With the amount of comments that have been coming in, Star Wars is dead. You can't kill something that's not living. Also, that's
like Star Wars, like the Grimace, cannot be stopped.
I will say, Acolyte wasn't my favorite. I enjoyed watching it weekly, and then I would be like, ugh. But Skeleton Crew, we're going to talk about it a little bit. It just, every time I see something from this show, I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm pumped, man. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to take us back to old school Star Wars, whatever that means. And I don't know. I watched the trailer again yesterday after the EW article came out. And by the way, if there's a hard copy of this Entertainment Weekly, if this Entertainment Weekly is going to have this on the cover, I'm probably not going to buy it still. But it was awesome. This is one that I would have bought 4 years ago for sure.
Oh, yeah. This is Vanity Fair, you said?
Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly, sorry.
Yeah, here, I can bring it up if you want.
Yeah, bring it up. But I was curious.
It's up.
I want to see what... It won't be the cover, will it?
I don't even know if it's a print, to be honest. It might just be digital because it was published on September 18th, 2029. So they have Jude Law does a little talk. It's all stuff he's said in other interviews where he's like, I loved what I was doing and blah, blah, blah. Here we go.
I literally...
Who's over there commenting?
I would literally open the same page. I was like, what the heck?
That's how it starts. But this is all about kind of like space pirates in it. And so we get our first look at Jaleel White, a.k.a. Urkel, in this one. And there he is right there. I don't know if you can see him right here. Yeah. His name is Gunter. He's beside Vane from Mando Season 3 to his left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few people here. I like Brutus, the wolf guy. Wolfman is my go-to. I think he's going to die at the end of the first episode. He's kind of really pissed me off. Look, man, this is great, but we have familiar looking aliens, which was one of my biggest pet peeves. Pet peeves. It didn't ruin any of the sequels for me, but it's a pet peeve. Where are the aliens that I know and love? And we're getting them in the show, and I think the practical costumes look awesome.
Are we thinking that the fact, he's not a robot. He's got he's like a cyborg, I guess. Or maybe it's not even a cyborg at all. He's just wearing stuff. That thing looks like your typical oh gosh, what's the guy from Empire?
Saw Gerrera?
No,
he looks like Saw Gerrera.
He does look like Saw Gerrera. Lobot from Empire Strikes Back. The head.
Oh yeah.
So he might have cybernetic or whatever. But when I saw this, I was like, this is like when he builds a Urkel robot on Family Matters. I wonder if this is a callback.
Guys, friend of the show, Sooner Thrawn on Twitter, sent me all the links to Robot Urkel when they dropped this yesterday. the jokes are fierce with this one. It's all over. I
I
wonder if that was like their thought process when they cast him. You know what'd be funny? Robot Urkel.
If he had the metal fade that of like the 90s on there, like the robot does, I'll be like, yeah. No, this is kind of fun that it's like, yeah, we got the trailer, so I feel like that was the first reveal, but like a reveal of a character like Jaleel White, like we kind of knew about him for a while that he's gonna be in this movie. So like the fact that they're like, hey, here he is, like maybe this is a one scene sort of thing. Hopefully not. This looks like a fun group of characters. So
I'm wondering if, because they always compare it to Goonies. In this article, they actually talk about Monkey Island. A
oh,
lot of it. Yeah, that's where they got the pirate stuff from. But I'm wondering if you compare it to Goonies and if they were really closely resembling Goonies. I wonder if this is the family in Goonies and they're going to be hunting them the entire series, maybe, because maybe the kids, when they jettison from their planet, they come into contact with something that these pirates are looking for, and the pirates chase them down for.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. They're not saying that much, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay. And look, they're going to release another trailer. I don't need it, and I don't want it, and especially if they do it on like American Thanksgiving, which is like a week before this thing released. I don't want it. We're going to watch it to talk about it, but I'm good. I'm good. You had me before these images. Now these images have just made me even more all in.
Yeah, no, it just looks great. It's like we haven't seen like a wolf character like that since like Cantina.
He was cut out.
Yeah.
He's cut out of that too. And then this is Jude Law playing Jod Wood.
Yeah, I just see it here.
These names, Brock, they are just killing me. But he looks like Lando. It's like he stole Lando's clothing. It was like, gotta go on a pirate hunt. I think he's with the pirates, though. I have a feeling he's with them.
I don't hate it when there's like style that similar to another character, because then you're like, yeah, because like it's a galaxy. Maybe there's fashion is the same across the board. So if a shirt is similar and cut, like yeah, that's like screaming like Lando. But the jacket I feel is totally unique to an extent. I like that these guns look like pirate guns.
Yeah.
Is that where people are getting Monkey Island as well?
Well, that was from John Watts himself. He's the one that said Monkey Island. He's like,
oh, sorry, gotcha.
Yeah, no, he took a lot from Monkey Island. No, the guns look totally pirate, which is great because they also reference how Han Solo was referred to as a pirate, and he never really liked that when he was called that. So they're using that to that. So I love seeing space pirates. Now maybe if this does well, I hope it does. We get a Tailspin live action. With some airplane pirates. I don't know, man. These images, there's nothing here. It's Jude Law looking up at a ship or something, and the kids behind them out of focus, looking like they're in X-Men First Class. Two of them, they look like they're dressed up for X-Men First. But but just you see it, you're like, okay, this has my attention. It's simple, which is fine. I'm hoping they do a small scale story though. It's not like the galaxy isn't in peril. It's something else, something smaller. We just need to get the kids home, and these pirates are chasing them. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, the pirates all die and the kids go home.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think I said this to you through text. Is like, these pictures are like, we would like to sell toys, please. Like everything, like the character, like the kids' characters look really cool. You can't go wrong with Neil.
Everyone loves Neil.
But this Jude Law artist rendering, like that's an action figure right there. That whole pirate crew before, when we were talking pirates, it made me think of High Republic with like how big of a deal, like what do you call it, hyperspace lanes are, and they're mapping it out and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's like, it's literally like they're at sea and they don't know. It's just a vast nothing, and they're trying to find the fastest way to get around. So pirates just hanging out looking for people that are like not paying attention. Like it totally works in space, there's so it's and it's just if these are just like, we could just call them whatever, but we'll call them pirates. Like kids on having a hijinks adventure, and then there's pirates. It's like it's a win. It is an absolute win.
It's almost surprising how long it's taken for someone to do. Obviously, books don't count or comics, but like do like pirates as the bad guy. Like Mando season 3, they were kind of there. We kind of got
Yeah.
them in and out, but it was more about where's Moff Gideon, and now it's like, oh, pirates, yeah, no, that makes sense because they exist in the galaxy. Like space pirates is such a cool concept that I hope it's fleshed out. I hope it's just not like you said a one and done,
Yeah.
or they're always in the background. I hope we get some. Not necessarily backstory on them, but I hope they are more at the forefront than some of the other villains we've been getting.
But you make a good point with that episode of Mando. Like that was an interesting episode because it was like they within one scene you're like, oh, these pirates are serious, and then like, is it? Yeah, I mean, Mando and what's his face? They like take him out, and then they let that one go walk away, and then you get to meet this space swamp thing captain,
Yeah.
which I believe is going to be in this show, right?
No, he's dead. He's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Okay. Oh, so sorry. The one pirate from his crew is the connection.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if this is like after that or before, or or maybe
Yeah.
what, that pirate who died could be on this show, and this show takes place before that season. But then I think you start to really confuse the fans a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars is already having a timeline problem. Like there's so much timelines in this thing. It's like, when does this take place? I don't know. It's you streamline it a little bit. I think that's the point of the show, is to streamline these stories.
Yeah, that pirate captain was interesting, and you're like, oh, cool, and then he's gone in an episode. You're like, oh, cool. So yeah, exactly. Like it's just go get that same kind of vibe in this show. I think it'll win, and just don't kill all the villains off.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think with Mando's Mando movie. I'll get rid of it. The Mando movie and the Filoni movie, if that's still happening. You got to think maybe they don't kill them all off because they need them for a bigger purpose. I'm not saying anyone that we've seen as might be the big bad in whatever their Avengers style movie is going to be, but they could be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what their plans are. I hope they have plans. That's I just hope they have plans.
Pirates are great characters, but it's just like I think it's like people probably like, oh, stormtroopers are the best villains because they all look the same. So it's like you can shoot them ad nauseum. There's still going to be more stormtroopers. But really, like if you explain the pirates as like it's any kind of character, but they're wearing something that's like, oh, that's that band of pirates. Like the High Republic books do that too with Nile. It's like they're all different characters, and some die, and then you get replaced with new characters. But they're all like they wear metal and they put paint on their face or whatever, or have these things. That's all you have to do, and you're like villain. So it's like you don't even have to like keep up with all those characters. You just need to know the bad guys look like this because viewers are stupid, I guess. You know what I mean? Like when you think about it, we're like, wow, we're dumb, but it's like it works.
Yeah. I'm all in on the pirates for now. But I wanted to bring this up. This is where my head was at. This is why I lost my train of thought. because we have the opportunity to get your single favorite pirate of all time in live action. Hondo!
Oh, dude, I would lose my mind.
Can you imagine like he's in that picture that we just saw of Urkel?
Oh,
but they purposely didn't show him in the full photo. They're like he's just off to the side, or he steps into frame in that. Hondo Anaka live action. Brock, how are you feeling about that one?
I think it's like, let's do it. Like he was popular in the cartoons. I'm sure he's been in the comics. Fans like us know who he is, and now he's like the mascot for Galaxy's Edge, at least on the Smuggler's Run ride. So it's just like you don't even have to worry about, do we need to explain it? Like people will figure it out. So it's like, and you already have the design for the live action animatronics. So it's like, you don't have to do anything. You just have to put it on a person now. I'd be in immediately.
I don't see how you do. I can't believe we've gotten this far without Hondo appearing. Like when you think of all the
Yeah.
characters we've gotten, how has Hondo not shown up? I think there's been a few times when I don't think we've necessarily speculated it ourselves, but we've kind of felt like, oh, Hondo could show up here. This, if they wanted to, this is where Hondo could come. But it just hasn't. We haven't seen any Hondo. Maybe Filoni's not a big Hondo guy, even though he keeps bringing him back in animation.
Could you imagine? He hates that character and yet he keeps popping up.
He keeps popping up. There's something like George Lucas has something on him. Like if you don't use Hondo once every year or two, there's something up. I don't know what.
Kids love pirates. It's great. Also, put an Ewok on there. Yeah.
Oh, dude, where are the Ewoks?
Yeah.
I am surprised we haven't seen that. Well, we saw them in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We haven't gotten any.
Yeah, like come on. Though I was trying. I feel like I can't remember what I was watching. Well, we haven't watched anything Star Wars recently, but it was just like, oh, that's. I was watching something where they brought something in. And you're like, oh, that's that thing we like. People my age have been wanting for 20 years. Can't remember.
Well,
I don't know.
Why wasn't Bastion? What was the name of the squealy thing in Acolyte? Bastion? I think it was Bastion.
Oh no, Basil.
Basil.
Depends if you're British or American.
Basil Bastion. That's his full name. That's his birth name.
Bastion's always a great name.
I like that character. Don't get me wrong. I didn't. Wow, his character was weird. His character ended up getting weird. Like I don't understand. I'm not quite sure I know the point of the character at the end. But why wasn't that character just an Ewok? They could have made him an Ewok, and we would have been like, Acolyte is a 10 out of 10 every day of the week, and season 2 would totally be happening right now if Basil was just an Ewok.
Or Teak.
Or bring back Teak.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, I'm all for creating new kinds of races of beings in Star Wars, but like, yeah, like he like, could he run? You know, he couldn't run fast. He wasn't Teak, but you could smell things, right? Like, you could make an Ewok pretend to smell things.
We don't know enough about Ewoks to say that one of them couldn't do that. You know, it's like that. But you know, there's probably somebody in like the old story group, like, yeah, Ewoks, they don't really have a great sense of smell. They don't have a great sense of smell. Who's gonna know that? That one dude's gonna know that. Put Ki-Adi-Mundi in there. That won't piss anybody off.
No.
You would annoy less people by throwing an Ewok in any situation than putting Ki-Adi-Mundi in anything else you ever do. If there's a character that needs to be retired quickly, it is Ki-Adi-Mundi. Popular because of a meme. Popular because of nobody cares about Ki-Adi-Mundi. But there was that meme and it was hilarious, and now everyone pretends that they know when he was born. And
Yep, you're totally right.
It's so weird to me. I don't know. But look, Skeleton Crew should be a lot of fun. Takes place in the Mandoverse, which again, I like that too, because I like when I don't need everything tied together, but I like that I know where it takes place in the timeline, so that when Erin's watching it, she's not asking me when this. I'm like, just remember when you watch Mandalorian, it's happening right then. And that's it. You know, because when she comes in on Andor, she's just like, there's so much going on. I don't know anymore. And I'm like, well, most of these shows all take place on this one timeline. And I'm okay with it. I can't, by the way, Andor season 2, can't wait. No idea when it's coming out, but can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
My God, look. Oh my gosh. I hit my table. I accidentally hit my table, and it's just people listen. Oh, you gotta one up me.
Oh,
people listening this is why people listen to the podcast the most. They're like, oh, we gotta hear what we can't see. All excited. Let's go to some blind rankings.
Yeah.
Right. Let me get the graphic first. We have a graphic for that. Where is it? Blind ranking. Blind ranking, 5 choices for you to rank blindly. Do you know what the topic is this week? Did I send the topic to you? I might have by accident. Did I send you the 5 options? Don't look at it. Go, it's blind. It's blind. It's Sith. Yeah. We're going to rank 5 Sith-a-marinky dinky dinks. Oops, that's the rank. That's not what I was supposed to do at all. We're going to do the top
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I know.
I don't hate it. It's too bad you can't leave that up, and then as you're typing, you just put it.
I wonder if
put
I.
put it up. See what happens. Who cares? No one's watching this.
Hold on. Well, no one's watching it because no, I can't do it. I can't touch it while it's there. Won't let me do. I can edit it now, so I got to edit it while you go. But my keyboard's really far away from me right now, so it's gonna be like long arms. What's happening? Let me move this forward. 5 Sith, and I didn't put Darth in front of any of the names because it's redundant. We know they're all Darths. Yeah. The first one I'm going to spell wrong, most likely. So come at me, chat. Plagueis.
I'm going to put him 4 because I have a feeling of possible names that are coming up, and I want to reserve one spot for a special little fella.
Do not remember how I do these usually. The thing with Plagueis, though, is unless you've really read the book, is he that great a Sith? I mean, obviously, Sheevy P builds him up, but he could also just be a fake story that he told Anakin. Also.
Exactly.
No one's ever considered that. The next one I have is Revan. Brie Larson.
I'm going to put Revan at number 2 because I feel like post Vader, his reveal and his villainy was like up there. I think he was the first after Vader of like, oh, cool, we could have another villain. I could be wrong. Maybe Thrawn precedes him, but he's not a Sith, so.
Yeah, definitely Thrawn before him, but yeah, Thrawn's a completely different villain.
Yeah.
Entirely. The next one we got Bane.
I have no feelings towards Bane, so I'm going to put it number 3 because I'm reserving 1 and 5.
Oh, wow. You said no feelings. I'm like, okay.
Well, it's the middle of the road. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Well, I think I know where your next one's gonna go. Dooku. Tyrannus.
I feel like
Dooku.
You're really putting me in a corner because I don't know what number 1 is, or I don't know what the next one is. If Dooku had come earlier, he would have been my number 3. I'm just gonna chance it. I'll put him number 1. I'll put him number 1.
Ooh, Dooku number 1. And your last one, of course, is my favorite, and that's Molly Maul.
Oh, okay. I was expecting Palpatine to show up. That was what my number 5. I'm like,
I consider Palpatine, but I was like, that's too obvious. Let's go. So Dooku, Revan, Bane, Plagueis, Maul. Can't go wrong with any of them. I would have had Maul first.
Yeah,
but
me
also
too.
it's blind, so you wouldn't have known that he was coming. But how do you feel? Do you feel like your Star Wars fandom should be revoked, or are you good with this?
No. It's like I was playing safe to be like, no, I can't have Palpatine in a good spot. He has to be number 5. I would just move Maul to the top 3. I'm pretty happy with that. Because Bane and Plagueis, I have I'm like, cool, yeah, I know their stories, but I don't know. They're not real.
The one reason why I would have Maul, not real, why I would have Maul lower is because of how he was treated in Kenobi or in Solo. Sorry, in Solo. They're like, he's back. Nobody watched this movie. He's gone. So, no, Maul's my number 1. Everyone.
That was fun. I'm glad we brought this back.
Blind rankings, yes. We'll post that on social media for everybody to see. Ewan McGregor got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame last week. Hayden Christensen was there. They joked that Ewan McGregor still had the high ground, but he has been talking about wanting to return as Obi Wan Kenobi, possibly for a season 2 of the show. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in. I think I've said this numerous times, and then we said it when Obi-Wan ended. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if second season was just like him and Qui-Gon trying to learn how to become one with the Force, and it's just a whole season of spiritual whatever. Actually, like, wouldn't it be cool if that season was Obi-Wan learning about the world between worlds? This is another one of those like space wizard, smart, wise old men characters that know more than you actually realize until like. I'm
down for a season 2 of Obi-Wan. I wasn't a massive fan of the first season. I I think I like half of the first season and not half of it. Like in half of it, I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it I love. Like I've said this, there's a lot of lore building in that show that I thought just kicked ass. And I would like more Qui-Gon. I don't think if you do a second season, I think you keep, and I love these scenes, but I think you keep Vader out of it. I think you can bring Hayden Christensen back and they could de-age him as Anakin again and do younger. But I just think you keep playing Vader versus Obi Wan rematch of the century. It's like, how many times are they going to rematch? Like, how many times do they go face to face before A New Hope? Before it's like there's nothing special in that moment anymore. So I think you stay away from that, and maybe you keep Luke and Leia out of it. Like Luke obviously needs to be present in some capacity, but not a main focus. And yeah, I don't know. I think you keep it a very small storyline. Maybe there's an assassination attempt on Owen Lars, and he's like, "Uh-oh, that's the boy's safety. I gotta go save that. Okay, save Owen Lars."
I mean, this might contradict what you just said, but I think it would be interesting if it's like a season where Obi-Wan just in the desert and is slowly going crazy because he's just waiting, and then that's how he starts going crazy. So then you can have Hayden Christensen come to him as like a fever dream. He's like he sees Anakin, but like nobody else sees him. So it's like I don't know. They've done that before where it's like he's there, but nobody sees him. And it's just like he's going crazy because Anakin won't leave him alone. And it's like the end of the season is like because he's been talking to Anakin, this like pretend Anakin that he like comes to realization of what it means to be a good person or something. And then that's another way to get you to like becoming one with the Force. I don't know. I think it's a win if you get Ewan McGregor in anything, quite honestly. So
yeah, I believe the viewership was high for Kenobi. I don't know if the reviews were high, but the viewership was high, which is really what matters. And they were low for Andor. They got a second season, which it was already happening before that show debuted. And like the views haven't been great for these things, but I think if you bring Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi and give us like, I don't know, any storyline really, but keep it focused. I think a lot of criticism came that it wasn't entirely focused on Obi-Wan Kenobi the first season, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. But make the second season more focused on Obi-Wan. Don't worry about side characters. More worry about him. Maybe like you said, Ghost Anakin, like have him and a vision of Anakin connecting. Because I think people now really want Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen to play these characters again, which is hilarious how the pendulum have swung on Hayden Christensen in this. But it's like it would be great, and I think people would really, really be into it. And if you announce Kenobi season 2, people who weren't happy with the first season would be like, but when you show that trailer and you show people that it's about what they kind of were hoping the first season would be about, or whatever, that's a bad phrase to say, but like, more about Obi-Wan, you might, I think those ratings are going to skyrocket, and maybe, Brock, just maybe, I will get Disney Plus again.
Maybe. It's impossible. I don't know. It's just like I think it would be worth it to have the second season or just something with Obi-Wan in again. But then on the same note, we've said this also, it'd be like maybe just start from scratch. Like maybe stop playing with the past and just come up. I mean, I'm sure Jude Law, we're going to watch Skeleton Crew. He's going to have Obi-Wan vibes to some extent. It's like, do we want that specific character or do we want that type of character, right? Like it's like,
here's a question. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Here's a question, because you just made me think of this question, and I'll ask you. Why not? And we haven't seen it, so just based on what you know, just blindly on what you know, do you think it would have been beneficial for, instead of it being Jude Law, it be Obi-Wan in Skeleton Crew?
Oh.
Just based on what we know. We don't know anything, so it might make absolutely no sense. But just think about it.
I think it could have worked, but like you don't get the reveal because it would have to be Ewan McGregor, right?
Yeah.
you don't know it's Ewan McGregor till like you watch the episode. And they're like, "You're a Jedi," and I'm like, "Hey, it's me." Like they put out the trailer we saw, but that whole thing of it being Jude Law is a misdirect. Jude Law's in the show, but he's something else, or maybe he's just in one episode. Like that could be like interesting. I don't know if it would be more of a success if Obi Wan hadn't come out, because like you're gonna get the people critique him like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this character still? Or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Like it's just like Obi Wan's not successful, so therefore putting him in another show, it's like, is that the right move? But forget all that. Obi Wan with a group of kids kind of makes logical sense because he has to take care of young people at some point, even though Luke is like 18 when they finally meet and New Hope happens. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, when you were just talking about it, I was like, it could have been Obi-Wan in Skeleton Crew based on the little that we know of the show. Obviously, it probably wouldn't play out. Or, I mean, with season 1 especially, it'd be harder for them to play it out like that. But yeah, man, I'd be. I mean, I guess the timeline would also have to be different. It would have to take place like 10 years before.
Yeah,
it does. But I don't know how much of that would really matter. Because I mean, I guess it does, because in the article in EW they say like the pirates are kind of coming out from hiding because the Empire's in shambles, so they have more like can come out.
Yeah.
But either way, you can work that into their pirates during the Empire. Like you could totally make that happen.
Yeah. They all sound like wins, you know? And that's funny. It's just like, you might not like certain Star Wars shows, but you can't argue the fact that like these shows look great. The characters, the way it's shot looks great. Like visually, it looks awesome. It's just like the story just might fall flat for some people. It's just like, but you're like, think about, especially I think we said this several talking times, like lightsabers just look amazing. They just don't sound the same, right? Like it's just like, but they look great now.
They look amazing. Yeah, I was just watching the Clone Wars stuff from Ahsoka, and I'm like, oh man, because like a year ago, somebody tweeted out, I think it was Star Wars Theory tweeted out, like live action Clone Wars, gotta make it happen. And it was kind of like, why? We have the animated show. Then Forbes just did an article like last week. Come on, Disney, it's about time you make a live action Clone Wars show. And I've been thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, why not? Well, it doesn't have to be the stories we watched in there's so much more that could be happening in Clone Wars that we didn't get with the characters that are in Clone Wars. And just saying what I said about how people want Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen together again. Imagine getting Natalie Portman in on it and Jimmy Smits and whoever. Like, just all of a sudden, it's like, you can bring Jar Jar back. You could make a pretty kick-ass live action series that doesn't conflict with the animated stuff, because Filoni would work on both. Doesn't conflict with it at all. And it would bring more eyes onto it, because the animated stuff isn't as viewed as the live action stuff. I just think that's a win-win, because live action Clone Wars stuff looks so good in Ahsoka.
Yeah, it does. And like that show was just really good at making you care about characters that were almost identical. Like if Tamora Morrison was like 10 years older, I'd be like, why aren't you doing that? Not that he can't do the job now, but you want him to look like he did. You want the clones to look like Jango Fett, Tamora Morrison, right? Just because they're clones. I mean, we live in a world where that's very accomplishable with CGI. So it's like, I don't know. And again, they wear their helmets. They wear their helmets way more than anybody else in the Star Wars universe. So it's like, maybe it's a non-issue, right?
Yeah, you don't see his face in the Ahsoka stuff, right? He's there. It's his voice, but you don't see his face.
Yeah.
Rex. Got the Rex.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go to the odds?
Let's do it. Wait.
The ability of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Oh, wait. I had it reversed. I thought top 5.
I was gonna wait until that amazing video ended before I was like, "Oh, what are we saying?" They're like, "We didn't do top 5."
No, this is what we do. This is the exact
336 times. I think we've done both top 5 and never tell me the odds from day one.
Yep. Yeah.
in the same order.
Yeah.
You know what? 8 years later, 300 plus episodes. Maybe it's time to mix it up. Maybe it's time.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to everyone by patreon.com/Rebel Scum podcast. If you like what we do and you want to support us, why don't you go on down to patreon.com/Rebel Scum podcast and support us in any way we can so that we can get medicine, so that we can remember how this show actually works after almost 400 episodes. And we will gladly try to remember your names. Names like this: Heidi Feder, executive producer; Barry Brophy; Dennis Allen; Randy Kenobi; Mary Kristen Aton; Dale Urban; Phil Staniforth; Rez; Scott D; Josh Price;
Matt W., Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Den of Nerds, Disney, Desi, Charlotte, Ron Prasak, and Jeff Wilson. Thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you.
all of your support over the years.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome. Our odds today brought to us by Patreon are as follows. First odd, Brock. Never tell me the odds. Ben Solo will appear in the Rey Skywalker movie. Will Ben Solo appear in the Rey movie? By the way, if they make more than one Rey movie, is that like another Skywalker saga? But never tell me the odds. Ben Solo will return in the Rey movie.
I think they would be making a mistake if they didn't somehow do something with the character, because the fandom, like the Reylo fans, will go crazy. I'm gonna go 45% though. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 100%. It should happen because they are our next out of Force dyad, but I'm gonna go like 21. I know it was made up for the movie, but it is what it is. They're connected now, so I'm gonna go 21% because I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna want to back that money truck up to Adam Driver's house just yet. Because the budget, I don't think it's going to be very high on that movie. I think it's going to be a low budget. And never tell me the odds. If the James Mangold movie happens, there will be a mention of a Force dyad. A Force dyad will be mentioned.
I hate that word. Like I just like, you said it, and I'm like, oh. And then I looked at the next odd. I was like, oh man.
Remember the Force dyad, Brock? You are
James
a dyad
Mangold.
in the Force.
Isn't James Mangold's movie the one
Origin
that's
of a
10,000
Jedi.
origin? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's, you know why? Because it was so inconsequential in the movie. It was just like, so it's
But
like,
that's
why
how they were strong enough to defeat him, Brock. That's how they were
Oh,
strong
fair.
enough.
Yeah, sure. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just sort of like, it doesn't do anything special in the movie. So why would we include it in the origin story?
And I have an answer for you. And I've said this kind of before, but because of how your relationship with the prequels changes because of the Clone Wars, you can beef up what happens in Rise of Skywalker if you make it something in another film or whatever.
All right, I can see that could work. 25%.
Yeah, I know. I'm also going to go 25%. I think it's one of those things like midi-chlorians where they're just like, sweep it under the rug. Just give it the sweep. Put the M count in there.
Yeah, call it M count like they're mutants or something.
Yeah. Speaking of mutants, nice shirt.
Yeah, thanks.
And our final odd is from executive producer Heidi. Never tell me the odds. What are the odds that there will be a cutscene for an upcoming show at the end of the season finale of Skeleton Crew?
Oh, I would love it. Like that drop. That was the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. Yes.
Yeah. No. 2. Yes. 2. Yes.
Yeah. For Book of Boba Fett, I'm like,
yeah,
that was a great move, especially like how close it was to D23 or Celebration. Where did they make all those announcements?
That was I think it was a shareholder meeting.
Like that. Yeah. That was beautiful marketing. Will it happen? I am not a cutscene, not just a trailer. We'll just say it's all the same.
Yeah, it's just a scene, like a post-credit scene or mid-credit scene.
I want it to happen, Heidi. I'm gonna have to go 30% because they've been really lacking in anything after the credits.
Yeah, they've done Mando season 3 with Book of Boba Fett, and then they did that little tease at the end of Book of Boba Fett with Cobb Vanth in the back to tank.
Yeah.
And that's it. So yeah, I'm low as well. I'm gonna go 11.7%. I mean, look, if they throw something in there, you know, it would be cool. Do you know what would be really cool? I don't know when it ends, but I guess it's still way too far out because that movie is never coming out. But a trailer or a little teaser for Mando and Grogu, a little teaser.
Yeah, that could work.
I think it's way too early for that. Way too early. Okay, now do you want to do top 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
Top 5 standing by top 5 unresolved plot points in Star Wars. What are they? Who are they? And how are they? Is what they should be. What could my first one? You know what? I'm gonna go with the. I know this has kind of been established in books and whatnot, but I'm going with the movies and TV shows and stuff. And why the First Order? How did the First Order come to be?
Yeah, that's a really good one. Oh, that's your number 5?
That's my number 5.
My number 5 will be the will they, won't they between Luke and Leia. They kiss. There's definitely chemistry. It's like they know each other. Like, what's happening there?
I think the answer
never
is
explained.
I'm gonna go number 4, Shivi P's triumphant return, because the explanation of yada yada dark side not good enough for me. I want to know more. I think the Mandoverse was at one point getting us there, but show me more about Shivi P's return.
My number 4 is going to be a current unresolved thing that maybe it will resolve in later or like the future, but like as of right now, that person in the cave with the hand on the rock and Acolyte, we're not getting an answer on that anytime soon. So it just sort of like you should have just cut it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they. Anyway, my number 3, Balin Skull. What the hell are you looking for, Balin?
Oh,
what are you looking for, Balin?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Ray Stevenson, the late great Ray Stevenson. Great, such a great performance, but just stops.
Oh shoot! I had my number 3 a second ago. What was it? Oh gosh.
I don't know. You didn't tell me.
I know. No, I had it in my head. What was Finn going to tell Rey at the end of Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, great one.
I mean, we have an answer, but it's not on film, so it doesn't exist, right? Am I right or am I wrong? I can't remember. It's like I have to tell you something.
He never tells her because, I think they shot it and they cut it because who needs to know an answer to a question you've asked 17 times? Yeah, that's a great one. Should have been on my list, but it isn't. I'm gonna go number 2. Shin Hati, Ahsoka, and Sabine. They're stranded in that planet. Why? How? What's going on there? That's my number 2. Although I liked yours a lot better. I should have made that my number 2 because that's a really good one.
My number 2 will be, you know what, Balin Skull or Balin Skull.
Balin Skull.
Skull. Yeah. Like that's a really good one, and it's like they'll find a way if they're gonna. It's Ahsoka season 2 is coming, right? So it's like the problem is like, well,
sounds like they're shooting it next summer.
So yeah.
Whoever they recast has big shoes to fill, but I'm sure they'll find someone fitting for the role. My number 1, Maz Kanata with Anakin / Luke's lightsaber / Rey's lightsaber. How did Maz get that lightsaber? A story for another time. It's been 9 years. There hasn't been another time. That is my number 1 unresolved storyline.
There's got to be one that I've heard recently, and I'll be like, oh yeah, they never did deal with that. My number 1 is going to be. Oh, sorry. That was probably his one. He's like, what is Snoke? What or who or which or where or how is Snoke?
He's a test tube. He is in a test tube, just like this. I agree, though. That was
Yeah,
Snoke.
man.
Right from the start, Snoke. They cheapened out on Snoke with, we don't need to know Snoke's origin. You don't know Palpatine's in A New Hope.
He was a
'Cause
man.
Yeah, I don't. Kind of annoyed. You know what? KK, give us a call. Oh, she can't. You know why, Brock? Because Kathleen Kennedy was just
Fired.
fired. All right. This is episode 336 of the Rebel Scum podcast. I can't believe we're still here.
Yeah, I mean, persistence. Persistence wins the day, as always.
As always. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope you had a fun time. Those questions in the chat were amazing today. Too bad we couldn't get to them. Leave your comments, your top 5, and you never tell me the odds in the comments below. Love to hear those. Brock, anything else you want to say today?
No. Happy fall, y'all. Go get your pumpkin spice. Have you been hitting up pumpkin spice anything, James?
I have the Nespresso pumpkin spice. So I'm weird with pumpkin spice because I love pumpkin spice, but I don't like the Starbucks, like those kind of. I don't like the syrup shots of pumpkin spice. I like the nutmeg, clove, whatever the hell. Yeah. So actually, when I lived in Mississauga, there was a coffee shop, Archtop Coffee. It's massive now. They've moved to it's a big coffee place now. I think. Multiple. But when I went, it was just a small little coffee shop, and that's what I was like. I want it, but I don't want the stuff. And they're like, okay, I got you. And they used to just make it. They used to just put the spices in for me. As soon as fall hit, I'd walk in, they'd have it ready for me every time for years. And it was so that's how I like it. But yeah, I do the Nespresso one. I drink it black because I'm strange like that. And yeah, I've had a pumpkin spice muffin and pumpkin spice bread from Starbucks though. Nice. At the airport. I had one at the airport and one before that. But yeah. You get them daily? Are you drinking one right now?
No.
You're just double fisting some pumpkin spice. What are you talking about? I got my double spice. Yeah. I'm surprised. I didn't know that you were all in on double spice and pumpkin spice until last year.
Oh, I'm all in. It's I can't remember. I feel like I had one. People are like, you like pumpkin spice? I'm like, I would drink this all day. I think Reham's it's funny. Most men wouldn't give in to these things. Actually, fall and Christmas is the best flavors for at least Starbucks.
Yeah, I do I do the peppermint mocha at Starbucks.
Yeah. Creme brulee latte. And then the apple crisp one.
Yes,
that's out now. They're good. They're really good. Jeff's kiss.
And Starbucks is not affiliated with this podcast.
Oh no!
Damn it, Starbucks! Give us a call.
We're non-spawn on this. We're just fans.
Yeah. We're just fans. Pumpkin spice, bring it! All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Bags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.